There's that dog that always comes to check out that crate, but the crate is locked. I think the fence must be open on the other side, because he's not always around, or she. It's a very sad tale. I really want to go over there sometime. Maybe I should do that. Dog probably wouldn't attack me, right? In his last words. No, it's not the dog so much I'm worried about as it would be. He just checked it again. Checking it twice in one visit. It's kind of heartbreaking. Like, it kind of feels like a motif in a game or something. I have to go fix it. Put something right in the universe. I don't know. Poor dog. Maybe I should just call animal control and get him picked up. I don't know. Maybe he's someone's and it's fenced on the other side. Mysterious story. But the crate is kind of sad. Like, why have a dog crate if you're gonna leave it enclosed, leave it locked? That makes me think that dog's a stray. Maybe he used to belong to someone that lived here, and that was his kennel then, maybe. People that moved away and abandoned him or something. I realized I have a hot glue gun, so I'm going to do that instead of super glue for some of this other stuff I want to put on here. I gotta get this book out before society collapses. Oh yeah, we were looking at the YA section. So remember, this channel is like a survey of a whole book collection. Alright, let's look at some, I would title this series for younger readers, good series for younger readers, but this is just an author. I feel like Ruth Chu's books were ubiquitous in elementary and middle school libraries when I was younger. Not ubiquitous, but like frequent. See him. And I know we had a couple in our family. This one, Summer Magic, which, let's see, when did this come out? 1977. This was like one of the books that like my sister would have, who was a teenager, would have in her bedroom in the early 80s. And I think it's cool. They just walk through the glass wall of a museum magically when a mist fills it into this replica house, but it's back in time. And maybe not the most PC scene to highlight. But it's very historical. I mean, you know, that stuff all happened. I do think some of the battles and wars were just massacres, essentially. I read about this Puritan one, and it was just like them surrounding a native village and burning it from the outside and killing anybody that ran away. I'm like, how is that a war? You just like, it's an assault. This is the other one that was around when I was a kid. 70s books. And they're partially illustrated. All of Ruth Chu's books are always about two kids having a magical adventure. And sometimes there's a witch or magical objects, time travel. In this one, just a flower can grow to different sizes and fly anywhere they want it to. Like, that's random. I like it. Illustrated by the author. Do-it-yourself magic. I wonder if that one's like that book, The Indian in the Cupboard series from the 80s. But yeah, they're good covers. I like her style. This one looks a little more modern. But it's very interesting to me that books get forgotten, and I bet I wouldn't be surprised if no Ruth Chu books are in print right now. I mean, that's wild. Because I don't know, they have a great, fun, magical quality to them. I always enjoyed them. They're just like mostly positive, occasionally dangerous stories of magical adventures. You know, they keep it real light. Ruth Chu. Anyone out there remember her books or have memories of them? Yeah, a couple of these are the copies I grew up with. This one, and my older siblings grew up with. And I knew these two better. But then when I had kids, I got a bunch of Ruth Chu books, but I don't think most of them stayed in the collection. I like when like related books by an author are all uniform in size, even if not imprint. You know, this pleases me. This would be the case, but I was able to get a more modern copy of The Enchanted. The reason I have these books is because of that paperback there on top. But this is a series called The Incredible Tales. They're by Elizabeth Coatsworth, who I believe was married to the naturalist Henry Beston. Originally published in 1951, The Enchanted now appears in a new edition with illustrations by Maine artist Stephen Petroff. It is the moving story of a young man's strange romance in the Enchanted, an actual and magical place in the northern Maine woods. Here lie the upper and lower enchanted streams, the dead river, the two enchanted ponds. Here deer are changed into bears, singing and crying voices are heard which issue from no human throat, and music sounds where there are no instruments. Even today, loggers and hunters talk of these matters as realities. It's a pretty good back copy there. And good on Blackberry Books of Nobleboro, Maine for bringing this back into print. This book is special. We used to have a really nice old copy of it. It was a library marked up copy. It just looked like a relic of the 50s or 60s. I don't know what happened to that. I think I gave it away to somebody. Oh, I did. And I always want to share this book because I think it's just so magical in tone. I think it's one of the absolute best examples of tone. This is my literal experience with this book. I could go like VH1 Talking Heads on this book because I genuinely I feel like this book has impacted my life multiple times. It's a book for younger readers, but when I was a kid and I read it, that old copy that was kicking around our family, probably because my older sister Leanne liked it. She had very good taste in kids' books. My sister Julie was a reader too, but was more into Little House on the Prairie. Anyway, I remember reading this when I had was running out of books in the family collection that I had read, and I was like, I don't know, it looks weird. I don't know why I thought that. But I read it, and I genuinely felt freaked out as a kid. Like, that book is so magical. I kind of stayed away from it warily. I'm like, that's like an intense experience reading that book. But it's like a positive, I think it's a positive, intense experience. Like Pilgrimage by Zena Henderson. Amazing book, love it. But, so then when I became a parent, I read the book to my kids when they were young, because I read to them every night, sitting in a chair in the hallway with them in their room for many years, and they'd listen from their room or rooms. And this book freaked me out all over again. I didn't think it would affect me the same way, but it affected me pretty much identically. And it's really a magical book and one of the best examples of just a perfectly executed tone and a feeling of magic that grows and grows. What we do what was it called? We've Always Lived in the Castle. That's another one with a tone like that, I think. But this is it's a flavor all its own, and it's so good. And it's an incredible tale. And I got all the other ones, but I had to get the original 50s editions. That's what these are. When I got the others, I have the complete series of the Incredible Tales because I thought The Enchanted was so great. I wanted my kids to have all these if it was an option. I might have gotten these through paperback swap, which is crazy because they're all really nice. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? But they're all stories of Maine and of the magic of the woods there, and I think they're a really it's a great setting. The lore is an infinitely deep well. Mountain Bride, Silky. I think I read all these to the kids too, but none of them, maybe once a piece, because I don't really remember them well. That's a great cover though, wow. I don't think I'd fully appreciated that before. But I've got a book by her husband here somewhere. The Outermost House. Oh, there it is. Hello, old friend. What a beautiful book. Henry Beston. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the same people. Yes, yeah. The Enchanted is about someone that moves into the woods of Maine to try to get an old horse farm that had gone fallow going again, and clearing the land, and wow, it's something special. And about all the people that live around there, in particular this one really unusual family. It just seems so great. Okay, look, it's not just me. On the back, The Enchanted, a masterpiece. It's one of the most exquisite fantasies I've read in years, and I venture to think an American classic. A perfect story without a single false note, and it's 158 pages. A little miracle that revives one's belief in our American literature. Thank you, Vincent Starr. It's not just me. People are always like, why are you pushing this kid's book on me? I've actually had 2 friends that have read it on my recommend, at least 2. Actually, more than that, and people are no one ever quite has the same reaction that I have, at least not that they relate to me, but everyone likes it. Okay, here, I agree with Anne Carroll more of the Horn book. There's an ineradicable magic that defies criticism and analysis, and it is this rare quality that gives to The Enchanted an atmosphere of pure joy in living. Its 16 or at 5 times 16. I gotta reread The Enchanted. I love that book. That's true. Look at this. Elizabeth Coatsworth understands how to weave the spell of enchantment, so nearly a lost art in our times. In this brief, deceptively simple story, she takes a fragment of Maine folklore, making of it an odd modern tale, which we are linked at once to shadowy, distant times when the barrier between man and the other creatures was a thin one, an idyll with a touch of chill, a haunting metamorphosis. Oh yeah, I'd love to turn The Enchanted into a movie. That'd be great. Wow. The book's all, my own back cover is ashamed of me. Silky. Great house stood on a back road of Maine in its overgrown fields, slowly sinking downwards into the earth. Cephas Hughes, on that autumn afternoon, as he walked past the farm burying ground, suffered to see ruin and wilderness take over the work of his ancestors' hands. Powerless to make any beauty in his life, the middle-aged, his once pretty young wife turning into a fat middle-aged slattern. Sheesh. His children gawky and unattractive, all his efforts, failures, ridden. He suddenly felt moved to call out as he once had when a child, Someone help me. A young stranger came walking up the road just then, singing. Okay, Silky is the second of a series of incredible tales by Elizabeth Coatsworth. The first of which, The Enchanted, was hailed throughout the country as a lyric masterpiece. Those who know that book will have some inkling of the force of poetry and reality the author brings to this. But here the color is deeper, the theme grander. The young stranger, with her grace and silken beauty and something else mysterious, holds a brief sway over the ruinous house. The sweet blowsy wife and the desperate man. She touches and charms the reader too, follows her, knowing, yet not knowing her secret to her last singing departure into the snowy night. Wow, this book is honored by the edition of drawings by John Carroll, the famous American painter. The silvery delicacy of his touch for Silky and his deep sense of the brooding countryside give the story a haunting visual form. It's pretty good. Like, they don't write book blurbs like they used to. But yeah, her most popular book is The Cat Who Went to Heaven. It's the one that keeps staying in print because it won a Newbery Award, the top American award for children's literature. Like chapter books, generally. The Newbery can go to picture books. But the Caldecott is more the picture book one. The White Room. All of these take place on lonely farms in Maine. That's great. Inherited Home. Oh, sounds like a psychological drama. Readers will be fascinated by the way in which Laura rises like Lazarus to new life. Wow, 1958. Yeah, Elizabeth Coatsworth. These books were always out of print. I was so happy when The Enchanted came back into print. Be a POD, but just that it was available. No, it's from a little press. That's cool. A really old cover in the 50s, looks like. That's great. Before they invented the sun. That's right. Thrashing trees outside in the wind. Day in the wind. Love it. You know, honestly, it's kind of a privilege to see the wind at this spot. I think winds are so cool. They're like natural forces that I'm in love with sometimes. Like, we're right in the wind channel for Harris Canyon, and that's a famous wind stream that wraps all the way around the world. We also get winds that come up off the Gulf of California, which is so interesting. They go along that long, narrow strip of ocean between the Baja Peninsula and mainland California, getting all salty and ocean cooled. And you can watch like digital maps of these things online. I swear I've seen the winds just like be completely drawn in the sky by dead leaves, just like outlined perfectly. You could just see their every tendril, like these giant forces. But I found like pretty much every published nonfiction account of the winds into Harris Canyon, I think. And it's interesting that they're documented and considered part of the area's ecology and everything because they keep topsoil off the ground pretty much. There are fertile stretches of land along to Harris Creek that had corn along them when the ancestral Puebloans were kicking it there. The place is now called Silver Ruin and others like that. Not only are we in that like epic wind channel right here, but this whole area was the Western Interior Seaway back in the day. So like mosasaurs would probably like swim right where we are right here, and everything else happened here as well. There were people living here tens of thousands of years ago that were wiped out by an asteroid strike in Canada. Folsom Man and Clovis Man, the Folsom people and the Clovis peoples. And they probably helped North American horses get to extinction by eating them, not using them to ride, but eating them. Because horse proteins have been found in a lot of cookingware. 2 copies of this crazy horse biography, but they're both so pretty. I think I'm just going to keep them. Like, which one would you even get rid of? They both are like beautifully put together books. And yeah, interesting. Maybe I'll save it till I know someone that wants to read it, and then we'll do a book club or something. Could read one copy, and Prismo could read the other. Oh, Prismo. Now, I probably grew up knowing these books because I was raised Mormon, but they are popular beyond that world. But they're very popular in that world. In fact, Donny Osmond once starred in a Mormon-made movie about it with him as Tom, the main character. Yeah, Mormondom is a small world. When I was a kid, Marie Osmond came and stayed at our house for 3 days. She was super nice. Definitely had like star power. Just like everyone wanted to just like hang out and be like, hi. Yeah, so that's a scene from my childhood. Me and Marie Osmond and just dozens of like Mormon missionaries that are 19 and 20 swarming around talking to her. And she had her then husband was there too. Our house, because it was the Mormon mission home where all the missionaries worked out of, my parents were the mission presidents for 3 years. Weird. But also, wow, what an experience. It was kind of a de facto Mormon embassy for Austria. So anytime Mormon celebrities, like high-ranking people or Marie Osmond, were there, they would be there. Anyway, that's enough Mormon talk for my life. Austria really was an amazing experience. But this series is so great. It's based on a non-fiction. The first books are non-fiction. This one right here. This is an old copy. This is probably still in print, I bet. It's so good. This is an excellent, excellent memoir. John D. Fitzgerald is a good writer. He's funny. He has close attention to detail. His words go somewhere and have a point. He's like very thoughtful and genuinely funny. But this is also just a description of what sounds like a beautiful family. Like it was this old rough and tumble mining town that I've been to the ruins of in Utah. It wasn't called Adenville in real life, but I'm trying to remember what it was called. I was so excited when we went there. I went with my dad. I want to say it was just called like Silver City or something. Not Silver City, New Mexico. Silverlode. Oh, look at that. My mom, who's since died, gave this to my sister, who's since died. Leanne, Christmas 1981. Aren't you glad you're a papa married a Mormon? Love, Mom. Too real. Oh, look at this. Hey, that's a good way to do a flap. You will meet. These are real people. But they're this Catholic family in this half Catholic, half Mormon town. And it's just so great. And their house is like this little microcosm of like community and order and getting along. And everyone's just the characters are so well rendered and it's beautiful. And I love this. And I've always wanted to there's a sequel for it, but you can only ever see a copy like this. It's called Mama's Boarding House. And I've never read that one. But I guess I could do an interlibrary loan if I thought of it. That's a good old cover right there. So my mom gave this to my sister in 1981, but this looks older than that. It's okay. Been sitting around or passed around for 5 years before that. It could have been sitting in a warehouse all that time. I found book receipts on like brand new first edition books and done a little thinking. Good stuff. But anyway, so this book led to the Great Brain series, and maybe I should keep those all together. But that really is a good memoir, so IDK. But the Great Brain series, the two main characters are Tom, this older brother with a great brain but a heart of gold, or a money-loving heart, and then his little brother John, JD, who always gets drawn into everything. And then they have an adopted little brother in some of the later books, and actually by book 3. And they are so funny, and they're kind of episodic. The chapters are like different cases, things that Tom gets up to. This was always my favorite. I just checked these out from the library for most of my childhood, and then later got copies. No, that's not. I don't know. Some I had, some I checked out. Like that green and yellow combo with that right there. That's cool. This is one where JD saves the day, and he's kind of the main character for the only book in the series, and he saves his adopted little brother from bandits, and it's fantastic, and I love it. I would like cheer at this book when I was a kid. I'm like, yeah. Like, I remember this was like an action movie to me as a kid. Like, this is so exciting. But I liked all these books. This one's where Tom's away at a boarding school and how all the rackets he runs, like he's the head of a prison cartel. He sends letters back to JD telling him about it. Great brain reforms. Oh yeah, and there's arcs. Things change. They're fantastic. And when my kids were little, even though we had some, I made sure to track down all of them. Wow. I mean, these really are good books, I swear. Even though this cover, no, I guess that's probably is that a Rockwell? Definitely. No, it's a Carl Kessler. This was the last one that I think was released posthumously. Great Brain is Back. And I read all these to my kids. This one I don't think I ever knew when I was a kid. Here's the first one. If you have young people in your life though, and you want just an amazing series that's rooted in history, it's like Deadwood, the setting kind of, but it's it's a little Utah mining town. It's a great family. Oh, I think the dad is the editor of a newspaper. Could be wrong about that. I read these over and over again as a kid. I think everyone in my family did. These were very influential, and they're just a lot of fun. Yeah. Any Great Brain fans out there? I don't think I ever watched that whole movie. I think it was probably not good, and also probably really hard to find. But it's probably fun on some level, like a TV production, BYU TV or something. But I don't know how remembered these series are. I mean, some of these look recent-ish. I think it's still around. I think if you were to go to Barnes & Noble or a store like that now, they might still have it. Oh, or am I fooling myself? Like an edition that looks like this. I've been in a lot of school libraries with my subbing job, and it doesn't seem to, I don't know. People read a lot of manga now. And they do read things. Novels in verse are surprisingly popular. Maybe I'd like to know more about J.D. Fitzgerald. I haven't thought about him much, you know. It's weird how books are so key for certain parts of your life, and then they're not. And they are again. I mean, I don't know. Would I ever read one of these? I guess if I got in the mood. I don't know. Researching something. Well, I don't know, people. I'm always saying books are so great, but what if I'm wrong? What if, books are actually really stupid and they suck? One time when I was in college, I came in to the dorm where I was living, and I was all, man, the sunrise was so beautiful this morning. And this guy goes, sunrises are gay. I'm like, dude, you have a steroid problem. Maybe books are great. Who am I kidding? Oh, I love you guys. What's up? I was just pretending. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. I know. Well, I can hear you, but they can't. Yeah, I think the stacking thing, the shelf maxing thing looks really cool, but it is a real pain sometimes to get books in and everything. This book is all about 9/11. You know what's funny is I can't remember how I arranged this before. Dang it. Okay, let's see. Are some of these on a different shelf? I'm about to give up. Looking good, just for now, Ugh, same biz. Oh, there's that kennel. What would you do about it, viewers? I should title a video What? I should title a video Red, Orange, and Yellow Memoirs. Because that's what these are. Yeah, I'll spend a minute with that sometimes. Sometimes I just feel like doing that, like, oh, tidying this up. At the moment, I don't, and I'm filming this, and I should go because this video's already long. Life keeps happening. I should check my texts and stuff, work on this article. All right. Everybody. Well, okay. Just always remember this channel's motto, Books are cool. Yeah, books. Need a motto. Or don't eat books, but if you do, there are ways to prepare them. You can shred them up and make them part of things.